I remember that day. It happened a week ago, and I'll never forget it. It was like any other normal Tuesday. I was sitting at my desk, surfing the internet. It was a beautiful summer afternoon. I could feel the warmth of the sun on my neck, shining in through the window behind me. My dog Jazzy was enjoying the warmth also, soaking in the sun on the floor next to me. The air was still, and that's when I felt it. An ice-cold breeze blew across the nape of my neck, almost like someone had rushed past me, but hadn't quite touched me. I turned around, thinking my boyfriend had snuck up behind me, but he wasn't there. It was only 2 p.m. after all, and he was still at work. I looked down at Jazzy, still happily napping away. I shrugged it off. Probably just a breeze coming in from the window in the living room. I went back to my mindless internet binge. Eventually, I forgot about it. Then, around an hour later, I was watching a video when it happened again. That ice cold breeze across the nape of my neck, but this time, it touched me. It felt like a fingernail, ever so gently grazing across the back of my neck. I froze instantly. I remember thinking to myself, it can't be him yet. He's still at work. The room was suddenly ice cold, as it seemed like every hair on my body stood up on end. I could hear Jazzy growling deeply next to me. Afraid to move even an inch, my eyes trailed down to my side until I could see Jazzy standing up, teeth bared, her body stiff and on edge. Her eyes focused on something right behind me. Right behind my head. I felt my head begin to turn, and I shot up out of my chair and spun myself around, preparing to face whoever had broken into my house. Nothing. No one. What the fuck? I thought to myself, thinking that whoever broke in had somehow left the room without me hearing. I grabbed a pair of scissors from my desk and hurried to the door. I turned to call Jazzy to come with me. She was still growling, teeth bared. At me? No. Behind me. I spun myself around again to be met with nothing. I stumbled backwards into my room. What the fuck is going on? I thought. Jazzy was still growling, this time crouched low to the floor, still fixated on something behind me. But I was still facing my doorway, and there was no way someone came into my room just now. I froze again, terrified, chills running up and down my spine. Chills so intense, like I had never felt before. Like someone had stuck their frozen fingers into my spine and were raking them up and down my spinal cord. Nearly made my legs buckle. I stood there, shaking, but unable to move. Petrified. I could feel frozen fingers caressing the back of my neck, making my skin crawl. Tears streamed down my face as Jazzy's growling turned into aggressive barking, making sounds that I had never heard her make. Finally, I freed my body from that paralyzing fear, turned around as fast as I could. As I turned, I saw it from the corner of my eye. A massive black shadow. Whatever it was, it had turned with me. It's still behind me. I let out a terrified scream and spun myself back around, and it was there again. This thing was keeping itself behind me. Crying hysterically, I kept turning around, trying to see this fucking thing. I couldn't turn fast enough. All I could do was make out a massive black silhouette. I had turned too much. Dizzy, I fell to the floor and crawled my way over to Jazzy, frozen fingers and jagged nails clawing at the back of my neck, threatening to drag me back. She had stopped barking at this point. Was now backed into the corner of the room, whimpering, eyes wide open in fear, still looking behind me. She could see this thing. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do, I thought to myself. I stayed huddled in the corner with Jazzy for what seemed like hours, covering the back of my neck with my hands, afraid to move, afraid to look at her, afraid to see her staring at that thing behind me. Everything was silent. It had stopped grabbing at me, but I knew it was there. I could feel its deathly cold fingers digging into my spine again. Eventually, I passed out, exhausted from the terrifying ordeal. It was pitch black when I came to. I was freezing cold. Hello friends, Grim here. I hope you enjoyed my little story. Be sure to keep an eye out for part 2 in the future. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and whatever you do, don't look behind you.